Saving the world from overpopulation, a call for radical solutions. Good morning, everyone. Today I want to discuss a critical issue that affects every living being on this planet, overpopulation. Overpopulation is not just an abstract problem, it is the root cause of environmental degradation, resource depletion, and the destruction of ecosystems, including our vital coral reefs. If we do not act decisively, humanity will face irreversible consequences. To address this crisis, I propose three radical yet necessary measures: tax breaks for vasectomies, additional taxes for babies, and international intervention, including war if necessary, against nations that refuse to cooperate in solving this existential threat with the previous two solutions. The problem of overpopulation. Overpopulation is placing immense pressure on the Earth's resources. With over 8 billion people consuming water, food, and energy, our planet is struggling to keep up. One of the most visible casualties of this crisis is the coral reef ecosystem, which is dying at an alarming rate. Coral reefs, often called the rainforest of the sea, support 25% of marine life and provide food and livelihoods for millions of people. Yet, overpopulation drives climate change, pollution, and overfishing, three primary causes of coral reef destruction. If we fail to address overpopulation, the domino effect will be catastrophic. The collapse of marine ecosystems, global food shortages, and intensified climate disasters. Solution 1. Tax breaks for vasectomies. The first step is to incentivize population control through tax breaks through vasectomies. A vasectomy is a safe, effective, and permanent form of birth control. By offering financial incentives, we can encourage more people to take responsibility for their reproductive choices. Consider the economic and environmental benefits. Fewer births mean less strain on healthcare systems, reduced carbon footprints, and less pressure on natural resources. Countries like India and China have already experimented with family planning initiatives, but we need to go further. By normalizing and rewarding vasectomies, we can make a significant dent in population growth. Solution 2. Extra taxes for babies. Next, we must implement a system of additional taxes for having children. While this may sound extreme, it is a logical way to internalize the environmental costs of population growth. Each new child represents a lifetime of resource consumption, carbon emissions, and waste production. The revenue generated from these taxes can be redirected to fund renewable energy projects, conservation efforts, and education about sustainable living. This approach is not about punishing parents, but about holding society accountable for the true cost of unchecked population growth. Solution 3. International cooperation and enforcement. Finally, we must address nations that refuse to cooperate in solving the overpopulation crisis. While diplomacy should always be the first step, there must be consequences for countries that continue to encourage high birth rates or ignore environmental responsibilities. If a nation's policies threaten global ecosystems such as coral reefs, it becomes a global issue. In extreme cases, international intervention, even military action, may be necessary to enforce compliance. Just as the world united to fight fascism in World War II, we must unite against the existential threat of overpopulation. This is not about conquest, but about survival. Addressing common objections. Some may argue that these measures infringe on personal freedoms. However, freedom without responsibility is a recipe for disaster. The right to have children must be balanced against the rights of future generations to inherit a livable planet. Others may claim that population control is unnecessary because technology will solve our problems. While innovation is essential, it cannot replace the need for sustainable population levels. The moral imperative. This is not just an environmental issue, it is a moral one. Every year, millions of people suffer and die because of food shortages, water scarcity, and climate disasters, all exacerbated by overpopulation. By taking bold action now, we can prevent untold suffering and preserve the beauty and biodiversity of our planet. In conclusion, overpopulation is the silent driver of environmental destruction, including the loss of coral reefs. To combat this crisis, we must implement tax breaks for vasectomies, additional taxes for babies, and enforce international cooperation. even through war if necessary. These measures may seem radical, but desperate times call for bold solutions. The time for half measures is over. If we truly care about the future of our planet and all its inhabitants, we must act decisively. Let us not be remembered as the generation that let the earth die, but as the one that saved it. Thank you.